Hello and welcome to the Warcraft 3 audio commentary. Today we're going to be taking a look at a best of 3 2v2 from the recent, from WFDC, a recent tournament, long time tournament, however you want to put that. And we're going to be watching a particular best of 3 between some really good players. Let's go ahead and introduce them. Well, we have two teams, obviously, it's a 2v2, so let's introduce this as the top versus bottom. We'll see on the top left, we have DHC.DHC Thu, who's actually on R-Stars now, and Thu is going to be spawning in as the, well, it looks like pink night elf to me, and he is going to be allied up with Yumiko. Of course, she's going to be spawning in as the pink human up in the upper right. Now, they are going to be going up against a couple of players you may know, you may not. The undead blue player, who's going to be spawning in as WFZ. He's a Chinese player. He's a very good undead player. We've seen a couple of his games, and so I think you probably know him. And he's going to be allied with Prince. Prince. A little bit more of an obscure name there, but he's actually a pretty good night elf player. So let's see how this game goes, of course, or how this game is going to start out. This is going to be a night elf undead combination, so normally you think, okay, it's probably going to be Priestess of the Moon hunts, but no, it looks like we're going to see a demon hunter. We might even be seeing a teching night elf in this case. He doesn't have any buildings up yet as far as I can tell on the map, but he does have that demon hunter out, and that generally indicates a tech to dryads or bears or both. Of course, WFC is going with a standard fiend build, and as you can see, of course, he is just going to go ahead and go for a nice creeping bit. Nothing too uncommon there. Of course, we actually have Thu with that Keeper of the Grove, trying to see if he can find one of these fiends or some kind of unit on the map that he can go ahead and entangle, looking for a couple of common creeping spots, you know, and what he's going to end up finding is this little Prince Outrunner that it looks like that Yellow was actually able to pick up from one of the mercenary camps on the map, who can actually purchase that very quickly with a couple of Wispmen and might get away. As you can see, it looks like it shouldn't, and that's good because, you know, if he's going for a build without any kind of buildings, that can be very important, but it looks like he's actually going to go for a single racks hunt build, probably into attack. Over here we can see that Keeper of the Grove is currently being chased by the Demon Hunter, trying to find where did that Centaur Outrider thing go. I'm not sure where he went. I'm trying to find him on the map. Very difficult, don't really see him, but yeah, anyway, so if we look over here we can see that Thu already beginning to tech. Looks like Thu just going to tech straight up with no tech buildings, getting a moon. Of course, also researching ultra vision, very important. That gives you a nighttime or daytime vision during the night. And it looks like Yumiko is just going to be harassing these wisps ever so slightly with 2 footmen and a water elemental. Of course, there's also that archmage there, and of course we're going to see these nice bit of micro from Prince as he goes ahead and tries to keep all of those wisps alive. Now here comes WFZ saying, you know what, you're really harassing my elf player, my ally here, and that's really not acceptable. So he's going to come in here with his army, and he's going to say, come on Thu, come on Yumiko, there's a reason that you're not supposed to be a bully, get out of here. And that's pretty much what they're going to do, going to obey WFZ pretty nicely. WFZ being the voice of reason amongst a lot of these Chinese players, from what I can, you know, deduce myself. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what I'm going to go with. Of course, Yumiko does have this archmage, and he does have these 2 footmen, and they're gonna all be running up here towards the top. Maybe we're gonna see some kind of a creep going on, maybe not. Of course, Thu actually was not going with a unitless tech. As you can see, he's actually built an Ancient of War out over here near this orange camp, this laboratory, kind of a hidden tech building that won't be so easily harassed, and in fact might even be missed entirely if you might be you know, an unwary observer. So it looks like Thu does have a couple of huntresses out on the field. We're going to see WFC creeping right there, and there's going to be Prince with this huntress and his Demon Hunter trying to do some harass, maybe a little bit here, just getting these mana burns off. We're going to go ahead and see the Demon Hunter getting key entangled. Oh, it's going to be forced to TP away at 17 life very early on in the game. Definitely not a move that you want to make, and of course that's going to give Yumiko and Thu a little bit of the ability to play a little aggressive right here, as they come in and are actually able to get a creep jack off on WFC while he was trying to finish creeping out the Scotland March, and that's going to be level 2 for the Archmage, and there's a watch reward right there for WFC. So their blue team down there actually knows exactly what's going on, and WFC still looking to get level 3 on his Death Knight, is going to continue creeping almost immediately, coming straight down to the Scotland Laboratory that is right outside of Prince's base. Now over here we can see that Prince is going to move out just a little bit, going to be greeted by Thu's Hunt as well as a little bit of the army from Yumiko. Of course, here comes that Keeper of the Grove with a decent amount of mana on him. As you can see, sitting at 220 mana. He does have that Brilliance Aura, Even though he has been using those entangles and getting mana burned, I think he might have went back and used a healing, or a little bit of healing from the Moonwells. Of course, we're going to see maybe one of these Huntresses going down to an entangle, but it looks like it's going to get detonated by Wisp to let him back off. He does not want to lose these Huntresses, as this could be a potentially big engagement right here that we're watching. Of course, WFC going to be forced to use one of his TP scrolls to come in, and that means blue team is down 2 TP scrolls. That's 700 gold down 6 minutes into the game. Really nice play from Thu and Yumiko, and of course, we can see that Thu has went ahead and picked up a Staff of Teleportation on his Keeper of the Grove. Really, because, you know, they know how important these TPs are, and you can already see just from the way they've been playing that, you know, forcing map control in a 2v2 is just a very nice thing to do, and so that's kind of what we've been seeing a lot of. Of course, we're going to see that, I can't quite tell, it doesn't show me who's Sentinel, that is, that Owl Scout right there, but I would assume it's Thu's, because I think he was the one who's over on that part of the map longer, but again, it could really be either one of them, and we can see Yumiko has picked up a Paladin as his second hero. He actually has 2 Ivory Towers sitting there in his inventory, and he did just go ahead and pass a Clarity over to that Keeper of the Grove. Of course, getting the mana to the Keeper of the Grove, very crucial, really all points in the early game. Of course, we can see Prince now throwing down his second lore, his Ancient of Lore right there. He does have a shop going down as well, and he has actually went ahead and picked up a Priestess of the Moon as his second hero. It's going to be a great support hero to support, add additional damage to not only the Huntresses, the Fiends, but also any of these Dryads that he will make. And will he going straight to tier 3? No, it looks like he's going to sit on tier 2 for just a little while, or maybe even for a long while. I don't quite know yet. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, Yumiko does have a flying machine right here, going to be able to provide some scouting information. And once again, there's a Sentinel here, and I did once again miss who placed that down, and we're actually gonna have an Ivory Tower being used right here from Yumiko. Whether this is a Scout Tower that well, of course it is a Scout Tower. I hate when I do that, when I breathe like that, like half hiccup as I breathe in. Anyway, yeah, because that's not relevant. I don't know if that's a Scout Tower in the sense that it's being built for the purposes of scouting, but it looks like it will be in range of those creeps, and that's actually going to be taken down by creeps. A little bit unfortunate, of course. You can see that Prince is going to lose an Ancient of War right here. Was moving that out probably to try to get some creeping on another orange somewhere on the map. I don't quite know. Doesn't look it's going to happen. Of course, we do have Yumiko with that flying machine scouting, and let's look quickly. We can see that Yumiko is tier 3, getting a Blood Mage as his third hero. Of course, going to get some Knights out going double racks, and of course going to get Animal War training, because you really want it in that sort of situation when you're amassing Knights. And of course, you can actually see one of those armor upgrades have been researched, so we might even see the Paladin going with level, say at level 2, probably picking up Divine Shield, but then at level 4 it might see him picking up a armor, or maybe it's something that you occasionally see done in team games, but it's pretty rare. Generally, Divine Shield really outshines it. Of course, we're gonna see Thu losing 2 of his Dryads right there, and it does look like Prince and WFC doing pretty well so far in the game. Now we can see that Prince is now finally deciding to tech up to tier 3, which means we're probably going to see bears at some point from him. He's got a couple of Dryads out on the map, and Thu is going to stick to tier 2. He does have those 2 Ancient of Lores, and he is just pumping out those Dryads. As you can see, he has 3 with 2 more on the way. Of course, Yumiko's still just scouting about with that flying machine, pretty much getting as much key information as he can. And WFZ, of course, he is teched to tier 3 at this point. We did just see the the orb on his Lich, and here is the Destroyer form as well as Burrow being researched. And of course, it looks like he's even pulled some ghouls, because I only see 1 in his base right now. It looks like he probably brought those in when he was trying to defend maybe a fight. Of course, his first attack upgrade is on the way for those Fiends and Destroyers. And if we look down here for Prince, is he getting any of the upgrades? It does not appear so. Neither is Thu, and that only leaves Yumiko, who is also not worried about upgrades. It seems he does have that 1 armor upgrade and the HP Animal War training upgrade for his Knights and Griffins, but that looks like it right now. Of course, we're going to see WFZ pick up a Naga third. Very interesting choice for a third hero, especially in a 2v2 game, especially when you already have Dryads, and especially when you know your verse Dryads, because obviously a Naga doesn't really do anything at all to a Dryad. It's not a very particularly high DPS hero, mainly used to try to, you know, control fights, control maps, and pick off straggling units and such. Good for focusing heroes down though, so we might see some serious hero focus. Immediately going to see a lot of hero focus going on to Thu's Demon Hunter, which was his second pickup hero. And of course, now you can see this fight going underway, and here comes Prince's hero, also going to get focused, but he's going to get staffed up. You can see a Blizzard and a Flame Strike doing an absolute massive amount of damage to those fiends. Gonna force WFC to back off a little bit. Of course, Yumiko has been able to bring in some militia into this fight. We're gonna see one of those dryads getting a nice holy light, trying to be able to keep him in good shape, and an entangling root's gonna get dispelled by the destroyer right there, trying to keep these fiends alive. Of course, you can see that Priest of the Moon taking some damage as well on his way as he retreats out of here, trying to get over here towards this way gate to get out of, really just to get out of the potential fight that's going on right there. And WFC taking the long way around as he decides backing off is potentially a good idea. Now down here you can see way in the lower left, you can see that Prince has decided to throw it on a Tree of Life, and it's about to finish going up. And if we look, we can see any more upgrades coming for WFC. The answer does appear to be no. And no intention for frostworms or shades or anything of that sort. Those can be very useful, but you know, mountain giants are on the way, it looks like, for Prince. As you can see, he's researching both of the important upgrades right there, suiciding a Huntress into creeps so he can make, presumably, so he can make more food available for his incoming mountain giants. Very intriguing. Of course, as you can see, this one increases their resistance to attack damage. I believe that gives them hero type armor-ish, or maybe this. I don't quite remember what the things do. I know it essentially allows them to be targeted like a hero for like spells and such, or a spirit walker, however you want to think of that. But this is quite a few knights coming out, and so this, I mean, mountain giants might not be such a bad idea. And also, I'm curious. Oh, he's already going out. I'm curious to know, with their taunt, will that interrupt a channeled spell for a hero? Because, you know, I come to think of it, I don't really know that off the top of my head, but if it does, then that can actually be very, very potent, especially if you can get that taunt in the middle of a Flame Strike cast and actually prevent it from kind of going off. Even more so if you can get one of those mountain giants right beside the Archmage who's just begun casting a Blizzard while the Blood Mage is just starting to cast a Flame Strike. That seems a little bit maybe imbalanced, so I'm not quite sure that you can do that. But nonetheless, we'll see if that is something that could be done. Then those mountain giants can be very powerful. Of course, we're going to see another one of these scout towers. This one almost certainly is just looking for scouting information and nothing more. Scout towers are pretty cheap to throw down. I think it's something like 30 gold and 20 wood or so. So definitely they're not a bad scout whatsoever. And of course, down here we can see that Prince and WFZ are just finishing creeping up a little bit. Level 3 on that Death Knight, picking up level 4 now with 2 Soapy Masks. His mana regeneration, as you can see, absolutely insane. And he also has a a Scroll of Healing and a Khadgar's Gem of Health, bringing his total life count up to nearly 1,200 life. Of course, here comes an attack from Yumiko and Thu. Gonna be able to take down that shop, maybe do a little bit of damage to these Moonwells, but here comes WFZ and Prince in a fairly decent position. Of course, we're going to see one of those destroyers getting picked off by these dryads, really, and the Demon Hunter for Thu going to pick up level 3. And here comes the fight as WFZ and Prince trying to keep backing off for better positioning. We're going to see some nukes on this knight. It's going to get a Holy Light. Will it go down? Yes, it will, just ever so slightly. And we can see these mountain giants trying to be tanking. Of course, they're also going to have a Frost Armor cast on one of them. Very, very potent to have that. And this mountain giant starting to take a lot of damage. He may go down. And as you can see, WFC being forced to back off. We're going to see one more in Fiend getting that Entangling Roots. He's going to have that eaten by the Destroyer. And of course, this is looking pretty good right now, I think, for WFZ and his ally Prince. In all honesty, even though they are having to dance a little bit, ultimately, as you can see, I mean, Thu and Yumiko not really doing too much in terms of damage here. We actually have a Lightning Shield that was cast on that Mountain Giant. Gonna get a Scroll of Healing and then a Staff out. And indeed, a lot of these units for Yumiko are very low, so we might see a couple more of them dropping very quickly at this point. Gonna see the Paladin being forced to cast his Divine Shield, and indeed, one of these Fiends gonna go ahead and go Burrowed. Very intelligent decision. Of course, that is a Sentry Ward from Thu, which means they can now actually see that Burrowed Fiend, and this Demon Hunter going to take a lot of nuking damage right there. He's going to pop a Potion of Healing or something. I'm not quite sure what that was. Getting him back up some HP, and here we go once again. WFC is actually on the retreat. This time, though, Prince is saying, no way, Jose. I am going to defend my ally and sandwich in these two armies, and it's going to force Yumiko to TP out, because Yumiko is really at the risk of losing some of those mortars as they end up into precarious positioning. Through saying, okay, I guess I'll TP out as well. And indeed, Prince and WFZ able to tank the victor of that fight. And as you can see, Prince down here, this expansion has been running for about a minute or so. And up here, Thu's just going up. He hasn't quite got any wisp in there just yet. He's going to have to move them up from his main base. And so it's going to take a moment to get get there. And so that was actually a pretty good situation. Of course, we can look and see Thu sitting at 56 food right now, and Yumiko sitting at 50 food, WFZ sitting at 56 food, pumping units, and Prince sitting at 57, also pumping units, I'm sure. Oh, no, he's not. Just doesn't have the resources. But yeah, Master Bears and Mountain Giants. I mean, that's something, right? Yeah. Okay, so here comes Thu. He's going to go ahead and get a very nice entangle off on one of those bears. It's going to get abolished. And of course, we're going to see WFC pumping out a couple of abominations as well. Abominations, we're seeing a lot of heavy melee, really, from Prince and WFC. And that's not such a bad idea because there are a lot of Dryads. The Dryads themselves don't do a huge amount of damage. They do stack up. So, you know, if you let them attack, if you let them focus fire, that is, on a high HP unit, which, like, all of these heavy melee units are high HP, then it's kind of a pain because, again, their poison do stack. But really, you know, that's about the only downside to going, you know, it's still not a whole lot of damage, and they still take a lot of hits to actually kill those, so it's not really a bad thing. It makes very, very tanky units, and that means that you can really just, and meanwhile, you're going to be ripping these things to shreds if they're not being microed very, very well. So it's, I think, going heavy melee may be a very, very good response. And of course, the other thing is that, you know, you just want a durable army that's durable versus the nukes and the entangles, and, you know, as well as the knights. So this is very interesting. It's very interesting to see, of course, Prince and WFC trying to make their way up here to take down this expansion. It looks like it's going to go down, though. I really don't think Yumiko and Thu are going to be able to force the TP fast enough to actually take that down, and indeed, or to save that. Indeed, we're going to see that being taken down. Now, will we see WFC and Prince decide to take the fight? It looks like they will. Well, a little bit of damage done to both the Demon Hunter and the Knight at the same time. We're going to see the Demon Hunter taking the Holy Light, of course, makes sense there. And of course, that Keeper of the Grove also in a lot of trouble. He's going to go Holy Light barely as he's about to go down. Still in trouble. Down he goes. And the Keeper of the Grove now out of commission. This is once again looking really, really nice for WFC and Prince. And that Mountain Giant there doing a ton of damage. Of course, we're going to see another Knight taking a lot of damage. It's going to go down as well. And that Archmage just saying, well, I will continue to rain down icy fire and hell, and you will be in trouble. Of course, WFC is going to say, I'm going to have to back off on that note. Prince also saying making a hasty retreat could be a good idea. Gonna see the Demon Hunter going down for Prince, however, not quite hasty enough, as you can see, and his Priestess of the Moon aggroing creeps. You know, maybe it was just, I don't know. I don't know why it did that, but it did. Of course, Prince and WFC still not sitting too terribly bad. As you can see, they do have this expansion up, but it looks like Thu is very clever and able to get up an Ancient Protector right here. Of course, we're going to see Prince responding in kind with an Ancient Protector of his own, and indeed he had to uproot it and eat a tree and sit it back down. Of course, Thu is now going to do the exact same thing. I don't know. I don't know if those two guys will ever kill each other with the way they can just uproot and eat trees. As you can see, they kind of heal through each other's damage pretty effectively. So one player would have to miss micro or forget about it or something for one of those to actually go down. So that's actually pretty funny. Nonetheless, of course, that does still mean that WFZ and Prince are in the lead. We have a scout from WFZ. It's a goal right here. And of course, there's also a scout from Thu. And meanwhile, Thu is rebuilding the Tree of Life right there. And here comes Thu and Yumiko's army. They're saying basically what we'd like to do is take out your expo the way you took out ours. Which is a pretty reasonable, you know, pretty reasonable thing to want to do. This expansion is giving Prince and WFC a pretty nice lead. Of course, we're going to see now that Thu picking up level 4 on his Demon Hunter. And again, that is his second hero. So pretty nice. And his first hero, the Keeper of the Grove, not even level 3 yet. You don't really need a lot of levels on the Keeper of the Grove, though. It's mainly there for the entangling roots. And so it's actually been really nice micro from Thu to keep his Demon Hunter in the lead, really. Of course, we're going to see some Plague Clouds and a couple of Meat Wagons in the fight as well. Those Meat Wagons getting plus 40 damage between the True Shot Aura and the Roar. Absolutely insane, as you can see. bringing their max end up to 146 and their low end to something like 112 or 102, I think 112. That's a lot of damage, a whole lot of damage. Of course, there comes the second attack upgrade for them, bringing their max end up to, what is that, 166? Yeah, crazy amounts of damage, plus the disease cloud. Of course, as you can see, what's going on is just crazy blizzards being cast everywhere, and Thu gonna have a lot of trouble in here on that demon hunter, gonna be forced to pop a potion of lesser invulnerability, but it does look to me that Yumiko and Thu are winning this fight as WFC retreats a little bit into the back, and Prince is in obscurity at this point. I don't see anything except his 2 hero units here, and that Demon Hunter once again in trouble. He's going to be entangled, but we will see one of those destroyers coming in and dispelling it as he tries to back off, and another entangle going to happen. He's going to be forced to pop that potion of lesser invulnerability. 8 HP, very, very low on HP, very, very much willing to call that as close of a call as he could, and WFC now just backing off as well. It's going to take a miracle for WFC and Prince to pull this one out. I think they're capable of it, I really do, but it's definitely going to have to be a miracle at this point. As you can see, I mean, they were doing pretty well, but they just kind of got obliterated in terms of positioning in that fight over here at this expansion slot. And of course, Yumiko even brought in some militia and a tank, or a siege engine as they are formerly known, doing just a lot of damage right there, just causing too much damage and overwhelming Prince and WFZ. Of course, now we can take another look at the food counts. Prince sitting at 39 food, WFC sitting at 62 food, and as it looks like the main gold mines are running out. And of course, Yumiko sitting at 58 food, with Thu sitting at about 44. So I guess it's not as lopsided as I thought. Just that positioning that we saw was absolutely crazy. And of course, once again, Thu is going to be the player with an expansion. I say once again, this actually is the first time this has happened, but Thu is going to be the player with the expansion, and nobody else will. So Thu will be the only player mining gold right about now. Water. It's very good. Anyway, so Thu and Yumiko sitting here at this fountain, healing up a little bit, saying we need to, keep our lives as, high as we can. And now to see who this sentinel is, let's just take a quick look from Yumiko's vision. Indeed, this is going to be Thu's sentinel right there then. Of course, and we do have a meat wagon right here. Keeping the roar up on him, always a good idea. And we can see with his... it's yawning. It's terrible. For what it, oh my, well, WFC bringing in 3 more meat wagons. That's going to bring him up to 4 meat wagons. That's a lot of damage. I mean, think about that. 1 volley from 4 meat wagons that have 2 attack upgrades, roar, and level 2 true shot aura. Potentially could do nearly 600 damage. Even more if they're attacking a building or, a dryad. So, I mean, that's a lot of damage right there if those are microed properly. So we'll see how that goes, but those could absolutely be the miracle that WFZ and Prince are going to need to win this game. Positioning is going to be key in this fight. We're going to need these meat wagons raining down on those dryads. Very important. Very, very important. Of course, we need those meat wagons to kind of be protected and out of the fight. So here comes this fight. Of course, as you can see, the meat wagon's currently doing pretty well through, taking a load of damage on that demon hunter. Oh, it's going to go down. He did just get past a potion of lesser invulnerability, and he had a TP, but he will go down. It looks like he was trying to get that potion of lesser invulnerability off, but not quite fast enough. Hopefully it wasn't lag, but wow. And of course, those meat wagons in the back absolutely just demolishing everything in sight. And we're going to see that Archmage from Yumiko going down. Of course, here comes Thu reviving at the tavern that demon hunter. As you can see, he does have that potion of lesser invulnerability and that Scroll of Town Portal still on him. Wow, that is amazing. It looks like WFC and Prince are going to be able to pull this out. It's still up for grabs, really, but they are certainly in the lead at this point by a good amount. And as you can see, Yumiko and Thu are just losing units left and right. It's definitely time to make that hasty retreat, and they're trying to, but I think they might have committed too heavily to that fight. Whether they should have or not, it's hard to say. I don't think Yumiko, I don't know, Yumiko losing his Archmage and losing that Demon Hunter so close to each other was really painful for them, and it looks like they're not going to be able to recover that Archmage anytime soon before this game continues with a very fierce battle. Down goes the Blood Mage to some crazy nuking, and as you can see, WFZ's at this point very high level heroes. 5 on the Death Knight, 5 on the Lich, about to 5 on the Naga. There's the 5 on the Naga. Level 5 on the Demon Hunter, level 5 on the Priestess of the Moon. These meat wagons dealing plus 20 damage without roar, and with the roar plus 45. So that means level 3 Searing Arrow. which means this guy right here is doing like, let's see, the Priest of the Moon is doing, I think, plus 30 damage a hit with the Searing Arrow, which plus 48. It's doing somewhere like 70, 80 damage a hit. Absolutely insane amounts of damage. And of course, Yumiko and Thu not willing to give up, even though certainly they are behind, but they do have an expansion running, and they know pretty well that their opponent is not. Down here, of course, you can see there's a siege tank just saying, I will, you know, I'll kill your Moonwell is what I'll do. And that's what he did. He killed the Moonwell. And of course, we're just seeing Thu and, you know, Thu and whoever, Thu and Yumiko just trying to find buildings on the map. Of course, you can see Prince's Tree of Eternity right here. Can they take it out with just a Demon Hunter and a Keeper of the Grove? Not likely, especially now that he's decided to sit down and turn his armor into Fortified. Of course, he's had a very long walk. He is not upgraded with Nature's Blessing, which is the upgrade that moves him very fast. So there you go. Of course, in the middle of the fight, in the middle of the map, we have this fight going on. Basically, Thu and Yumiko just trying to fight just a couple of units here from Prince. Not really going to work out too well for Prince, but once WFZ comes in with the reinforcements, that's going to turn the tides pretty easily. And as you can see, Thu getting very close on that Demon Hunter, but he will get a Holy Light. Nonetheless, he's going to go ahead and call a good game. Definitely saying we simply don't have the army or the resources to fight you any longer in this game. And there you go. Of course, exceptional play from all four players, but absolutely well done. I think WFZ made a great call getting those extra meat wagons, and of course Prince as well. The positioning in that last fight that turned the whole game around, phenomenal by the Undead and the 9-player team right there. I mean, just absolutely amazing. Those meat wagons were doing a lot of damage. Of course, the focal point of that fight was definitely the hero kills. So, you know, I don't know really what to say other than shame on you, Yumiko and Thu. Shame on you, because that Demon Hunter kill could have been avoided. I'm not sure what happened with the Archmage kill. That, you know, if you had TP on the Archmage, maybe they could have both TP'd out, and maybe they wouldn't have lost the game. Who knows? But hey, there you go. That's the game. That's my post-game analysis. That was game 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see game 2, well, then check out the channel tomorrow, because that's when it should be going up. I know. I usually try to get these done on the same day, but it's not going to happen that way every day. I'm sorry. So, yeah, check back tomorrow. It should be up probably around noon EST my time, so you know, I'll see you then, hopefully.